Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Spot Connection with another installment of Building the Team. So, now this might be, you might think this is a bit early or a bit late for Building the Team, but played in a sealed event for the most recently released set, Spider-Man and Venom, Absolute Carnage. Partially inspired by last year's Absolute Carnage story. And, well, figured I'd go over what I pulled and what I built, how it did. Also, when it comes to how things did. Last time, before the sealed event, ended up running the Wakanda team. Went 1 and 2. I think the dice were not entirely on my side. And I did kind of fall face for. I did kind of walk right into a trap in my second game in one of my games. So yeah. Anyway, on to onto this building theme. Also, we will be looking at the Absolute Carnage Fast Forces. So yeah. Anyway, so for the first booster, we got Iron Fist. Groovy. Absolutely groovy. Yeah, we got Iron Fist there. Now you might be asking yourself, what the hell is Iron Fist doing in a Spider-Man set? Well, Iron Fist was one of the various characters who got dragged into Maximum Carnage, and also showed up in the Absolute Carnage tie-in series, Lethal Protectors. He's got, take a look at his style. He's got improved movement characters. He's got a handful of keywords, including Defenders, Heroes for Hire, Kunlun, Marvel Knights, Martial Artist, and Mystical. He also has a trait, which you can see here. I am the Iron Fist. At the end of your turn, if Iron Fist didn't move or make an attack this turn, give him a chi token. As a free action, remove any number of chi tokens to make that many close attacks against different targets. Maximum damage value 3. Okay. Take a quick look at this dial. Got some sidestep, precision strike, super senses, and exploit weak. And power right off the bat. Then we get some exploit weakness, some charge. Get a lot of good stuff throughout the dial. And that with the fact that he has almost always has a printed damage value of 2. That chi attack is actually really good. Actually, no, it doesn't change the damage to 3. It just has a maximum of 3. So if you perplex him up to a 3, or you have someone empowering him to a 3, he's got a 3 for the attack, or for each attack. All right, moving on, we've got Deathlock. Deathlock was also in Maximum Carnage, as well as Lethal Protectors miniseries. This is, in fact, the Michael Collins version, which was the one who was present in Maximum Carnage, if I remember correctly. There's been about, 20 different Deathlocks over the years. So, Deathlock, Iron Fist comes in at 60 points. Forgot to mention that. And you got the Spider-Man Ally Team ability, making him a wild card. Derp. So, Deathlock comes in at 75 points. Has the Codex, Shield, Assassin, Robot, and Soldier keywords. He's also got improved targeting, ignores hindering terrain and characters. He's got 2 traits. The first one, all systems rebooting, gives him regeneration. So traded regeneration is not a bad thing in the slightest. Then we have computer, collate countermeasures. At the beginning of your turn, choose a standard damage power. Deathlock can use the chosen power until your next turn. Okay, alright. Then looking at his dial, we open up with some running shot. which gives way to stealth. And we got some precision strike near the end. He's got Indomitable, so built-in willpower, which is always a nice thing to see. Toughness to the whole dial, and we got some, and oh, okay. The calculate countermeasures isn't a. I was wrong. Calculate countermeasures isn't a trait. It's a damage power. That's what he's got on damage right off the bat there. Then he gets range combat expert. But yeah, that's actually really great because you can basically, you know, you need perplex, give yourself perplex. Outwit. Probability control. Range combat expert, close combat expert, go for it. So on, so forth. It's not bad. It's not a bad figure for 75 points. I still kind of feel like there's a part of me that kind of feel like they could have done a little more with the character, but oh well. I kind of wish he didn't have an almost completely barren attack dial, but you know, whatever. Next up, we've got Toxin. And I was actually wrong. Toxin. I was saying rather than that I didn't pull any of the secret identity characters, but I did pull Toxin. We'll actually get to the secret identity mechanic either later in this video or when looking at what else I end up getting from the set. So, Toxin comes in at 50 points, has the PD team ability. He also has the Codex, Sinister Syndicate, Monster, Police, and Reporter keywords. As you can see, one of his alter egos is Eddie Brock. So, he's got a trait, as do all of the symbiote-wearing characters in the set, giving him plasticity and shape change, so definitely plus. You can see that there, right at the top there. Then looking at the dial, we've got on speed a special power, hunting those who deserve it, giving him leap climb. When he uses it after resolutions, he can make a close attack. Okay, alright. Looking at the dial, we open up with that special power on speed, followed by some regular leap climb. We got a lot of blades, then some combat reflexes, followed by super senses, and late dial exploit weakness. And we also have this short dial. So I guess we may as well get into the secret identity mechanic. So you'll note the short dial, which has just the special power and a click a leap climb, some blades, some combat reflexes, and some super senses, and a little bit of exploit weakness. So the way the secret identity mechanic works is, if you have, we'll say in this case, if you got Eddie Brock on your team, when Eddie is KO'd, instead of KOing him, if you've got Toxin, or Venom, or Anti-Venom, or AJ, I don't know. He's got options. You can replace Eddie with Toxin on that short dial. And then, if your opponent KOs Toxin, they get an additional 25 points. Next up, we've got Molten Man. Molten Man is a longtime Spidey villain. And occasional ally as well. He comes in at 75 points. Has the Sinister Syndicate and Spider-Man family keywords. We got a trait there. Molten projectiles. Once per turn, when he makes a range attack, after resolutions, you may generate a blocking terrain marker adjacent to a target. At the beginning of your next turn, replace that blocking terrain marker with a hindering terrain marker that remains indefinitely. Then, looking at his dial, on speed, we got just a full on plasticity. On attack, we open up the special power Molten Skin, which gives him poison and super strength. And when he uses poison, he deals penetrating damage and may treat characters adjacent to his blocking terrain markers if they were adjacent to him. Okay. On that gives way to regular poison. On defense, we got a special power, liquid metal alloy from a radioactive meteorite. Molten Man takes a maximum of 1 damage from attacks and can't be chosen for Mastermind. Also, it can't be outwitted, and it ignores Pulse Wave. Then on damage, then you get some normal, then some toughness. Then on damage, we go back and forth between Wit and Perplex. And he's honestly not bad. He actually made the cut for the team. Next up, we've got Venom Captain Marvel, a super rare. Take a look at that sculpt right quick. Anyway, Venom Captain Marvel comes in at 110 points. She has the Avengers, Codex, Guardians of the Galaxy, Kree, Cosmic, and Monster keywords, as well as improved movement, ignores and destroys blocking terrain. She also has the Symbiote trait, giving her plasticity and shape change, just like with Toxin, as well as another trait, call in help from the Venomverse. When she hits an opposing character, if no character has been placed this turn after resolutions, you may roll a d6. On a 3 through a 6, pick another friendly character whose name includes Venom adjacent. Now that'd be really good for a Codex team. Maybe, well, also possibly a Guardians of the Galaxy team with the various versions of Ancient Venom. So, but we have a third trait as well. Higher, further, hungrier, which gives her steel energy. Then looking at her dial, we've got some hypersonic speed, followed by some charge, followed by some sidestep. Nothing on attack to start with, but she ends up clicking into the special power Tongue Slash. Gives her Quake, and causes her to deal penetrating damage. On defense, she's got Indomitable, opens up with Invincible, then gives it a toughness. Damage, we got some probability control, which is definitely good, and then some Perplex. All in all, not a bad figure. I honestly probably should have run her, to be perfectly honest. From the second booster, start off with the Prowler. Now, both versions of Prowler are in the set. This is the original version, Hobie Brown. Comes in at 30 points and has the Spider-Man ally team ability, making him a wild card. He's also got improved. He also has the Spider-Man family keyword, and improved movement ignores hindering terrain and elevated terrain. We got looking at his dial. We've got a full run of stealth. We open up with a special attack power armed with gas grenades, which gives him Smoke Cloud, or Smoke Cloud is free, but only generate 3 markers. That then gives way to Precision Strike. On defense, we've got Toughness. And on damage, we've got a Click of Perplex at the very beginning, and that's it. For 30 points, though, he's not too bad. Next up, we've got Black Widow. Now, this is Black Widow from Marvel's failed Ultimate Universe. Well, this third Black Widow. In fact, she is a clone of Peter Parker. Who was engineered to be a girl instead of engineered to be female instead of male. She would end up eventually taking the name Jessica Drew. Also, she made out with Johnny Storm once, and basically looked just like Peter, just as a girl. No, really, but eventually she would join the Ultimates and take on the name Black Widow. Anywho, she comes in at 60 points and has the Ultimates team ability. The Ultimates team ability is, in all honesty, the same as the Avengers Initiative team ability. Improved movement and improved targeting for hindering terrain. She's also got improved movement for elevated terrain, and as well as the Shield, Spider-Man family, and Ultimates keywords. And yet, we got a couple traits there. The first one, Dimensional Travel Watch. She can start the game with it if she can start the game equipped with it at no cost. Then the next one is Ultimate Spider Sense. Let's actually go look at that one. Super Senses, and once per turn, you may re-roll a friendly character's Super Senses roll or shape change roll if that character is within range and line of fire. Now, Now it does not say another, so she can still do it for herself too. Now let's take a quick look at the dial. We got some running shot, which gives way to sidestep, some in cap, which gives way to quake, some willpower, which gives way to energy shield deflection, and some late dial range combat expert. And to be fair, she actually held up pretty well throughout all 3 matches I played last night. So, you know, props to her. Next up, we've got Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Miles here comes in at 65 points, has the ultimates as well as the Spider-Man ally team ability. Keyword-wise, we've got Avengers, Champions, Shield, Spider-Man Family, and Ultimates keywords. We've also got improved movement for elevated terrain as well. He can also be equipped with the Dimensional Travel Watch at the beginning of the game. Looking at the dial, we open up on speed. We open up with special power, a slightly different genetically enhanced spider, giving him plasticity, sidestep, and stealth. That then gives way to charge, and we picked it back up at the end. Then we've got on attack, shocking web blast, giving him precision strike, and when he is given a move action and moves 5 or less squares after resolutions, he can use incapacitate as range at no cost, and may use it to target all opposing characters within range and line of fire. So that's pretty cool. That then gives way to some super strength. Then we get some super senses on defense, followed by combat reflexes. Early dial outwit, followed by late dial shape change. Not bad. Not bad at all, really. Excuse me. Next up, we've got White Rabbit. This is White Rabbit's first appearance in the game. I don't really know much about the character. I've only got a handful of appearances of her. One from the Absolute Carnage symbiote Spider-Man one-shot, and a few from Jessica Jones' Blind Spot. But she comes in at 60 points and has the Sinister Syndicate team ability. She also has the Sinister Syndicate and Animal keywords. Looking at her dial, we got a couple traits. First off is have genetically engineered Killer Bunny. When White Rabbit hits after resolutions, generate a Killer Bunny bystander adjacent to a hit opposing character. And we'll take a quick look at those. They're not autonomous. We got some sidesteps, some blades, and some combat reflexes. They are tiny though, so yeah. Next up, yet another Sinister Six. Adjacent friendly characters with Sinister Syndicate keyword can use Leap Climb. Okay, alright. Then looking at her dial, we open up some Running Shot, which is going to give her to Leap Climb, and then we've got Sidestep. On attack, we've got a couple clicks of Penetrating Psychic Blast, followed by some late dial Quake. On defense, we got a long run of Willpower, followed by a couple clicks of Combat Reflexes. On damage, we open up the special power Insanely into Lewis Carroll, which gives her Perplex. When she uses it, all other uses of Perplex on that character expire, and that character can't be targeted by Perplex again until your next turn. Now that can be very handy for a multitude of reasons. If your opponent has Perplex down in a friendly character's attack value, you can then Perplex it up and undo the negative perplexing. And then that character can have their defense Perplexed down the next turn. Or if your opponent has perplexed up one of their characters, you can perplex them down, and all those perplexes they used, gone. Then after that, we get some regular perplex followed by some late dial close combat expert. Glad to see the close combat expert lining up with the sidestep, so she'd actually use both of them together. And then, now I was surprised enough to pull Venom Captain Marvel for my first booster, as she is a super rare. It's like, okay, cool, I got a super rare, that's great. Then I bought my second booster, and I got a chase figure, Spider Pharaoh. So the theme of the chases in this set is WizKids created alternate versions of some of the Spider-Man family from various periods of time, and they each have a really cool trait, which we'll get into here in a second. However, Spider-Power comes in at 60 points and has the Spider-Man Ally team ability, making her a wild card. She also has the Spider-Man family past and ruler keywords. And as you see, we got a couple traits. First off, my kind of allies. Now, this is the trait I was talking about. This is actually what makes these chases really cool. When establishing theme teams, characters on your starting force with the ruler keyword gain the Spider-Man family keyword. That is huge. That gives you so many possibilities. Doctor Doom, Black Panther, Darkseid. Yeah, that's just off the top of my head right quick. But yeah, she also has the other trait is calling help from the Spider-Verse, and it works the same as the calling help from the Venom-verse that Venom Captain Marvel has. After she hits, roll a d. If no one else has been moved, if nobody else has been, no other character has been placed this turn on a 3 through a 6, friendly character Spider-Man family keyword adjacent. It's actually a really great way to move your characters around. Then, looking at her dial, we open up with a special speed power, carry my armies to battle, which gives her facing teleport and passenger 3. That thing gives way to plasticity. On attack, we got some precision strike, followed by some psychic blast. She's got indomitable. Starts off with super senses on defense, followed by inertial deflection. On damage, we open up with the special power, Queen of all that light touches, giving her empower, enhancement, leadership, and probability control. Which that then gives way to regular probability control. So, the trick with her is you kind of want to run her with a lot of Spider-Man family peeps. Basically, keep them all around her, and but yeah, that way she can boost them up. We got leadership, we've got prob, we've got empower, we've got enhancement. I probably could have used her better. So the team ended up being I'll just pull back the ones that I didn't use. The team I ended up going with was a Spider-Man family team. In a Spider-Man set, that's usually fairly easy, but we went with Molten Man, who definitely, in the third round, definitely pulled his weight. Prowler, who, I got the points worth out of him, that's for sure. Black Widow, who pulled her weight in the first round especially. I think she did in the second one. If she hadn't been knocked off her leadership special, Black Widow would have gotten me 25 points. Spider-Man, who was most definitely the MVP of the third round, and of course, Spider-Pharaoh. I ended up going 0-3. A lot of it was just. It's what generally happens in a sealed event. You don't really know the figures that well yet. Especially for a brand new set. Part of me kind of figures maybe I should have said to hell with theme and just run some random cool stuff that might work. But figured I had the theme possibility, so why not? Now, there's one other figure that I got yesterday I wanted to show off. It's not, it's nothing big. It's not like anything huge, but the Booster Venom. Venom here is a common. Comes in at 65 points. He's got the Spider-Man Ally Team ability, as well as the Codex, Sinister Syndicate, Spider-Man Family, Monster, and Reporter keywords. We've also got improved movement, ignores elevated terrain, hindering terrain, and we've got 2 traits. The Symbiote trait, giving him plasticity and shape change. And Lethal Protector. Once per attack, when an adjacent friendly character takes damage, give Venom a Protector token. Free. Remove a Protector token to make a close attack that deals penetrating damage. Okay, alright. Got my attention there. Looking at the dial, and he is a seared entity character. We get some charge followed by some sidestep, then super strength followed by blades, toughness followed by super senses, also indomitable, so yeah. Some late dial close combat expert as well. Then on the secret identity dial, we've just got 1 click of charge, as well as super strength and toughness, 2 clicks of sidestep, 2 clicks of super senses, and 2 clicks of close combat expert. Not bad for that extra 25 points or potentially you might end up giving your opponent. Mainly, I was really stoked to get him just because I really wanted to have him just for the novelty of Venom with the Spider-Man family keyword. I mean, it makes perfect sense, as yeah, Venom and Spider-Man are friends, kinda, sorta. I think Eddie probably trusts Peter a bit more than Peter trusts Eddie, but you know, hey. So now we've got the Fast Forces. So first off, we've got Spider-Man. Yeah, it's the same sculpt as they used for Miles. And yes, there's a booster version of that sculpt too for Peter. So Spider-Man comes in at 75 points or 50 points. He's got the Spider-Man Ally Team ability, as well as a trait, as well as the Spider-Man Family, Reporter and Scientist keywords, and improved movement, ignores elevated terrain. He also has a trait called Marvel Team Up, and to be perfectly honest, that is the trait Spider-Man should have had since they started doing traits. When establishing theme teams, choose a named keyword a character on your starting force has. Spider-Man gains that keyword. So yeah, Spider-Man just got every named keyword ever. Alright, looking at the dial, got some charge, followed by some running shot, followed by some flurry. On attack, we open up with some quake, followed by some incapacitate. On defense, we got some, I think that's combat, combat reflexes, followed by super senses. Back and then, yeah. Damage, however, is another way he shines. With the special power Quips and Thwips. Leadership, but succeeds on a 4 through 6, which then gives way to Perplex. Now that's nuts. He's got a 50-50 chance of hitting leadership. Ooh. Put him on a Wakanda team, and yeah, use the Earth X Wakanda map with him. Oh boy, yeah. Anyway, moving on, we've got Venom. Venom here also comes in at 75 points or 50 points. He's got the Codex, Sinister Syndicate, Monster, and Reporter keywords, as well as improved movement, ignores elevated terrain, as well as the Symbiote trait. And he also has traded Steel Energy. Now, looking at his dial, we've opened up some charge, which is way to sidestep, blades, and we push go back and forth between. Wait. Oh, okay. Tendrils gives him giant reach of 3, not giant reach of 2. We go back, we pick up blades, then steel energy, then some late super strength. Then on defense, he's got indomitable. Opens up with invulnerability, then toughness, then regeneration. We open up with exploit weakness on damage, which then gives way to some battle fury. Not too shabby. I actually kind of like. It'd be good on Sinister Syndicate teams. Next up, we've got Black Cat. Now, Black Cat's kind of in an interesting spot for me with this set, in this version, because, well, it's a neat concept that they've done, but I don't know. Yeah. However, anyways, Black Cat comes in at either 50 points or 25 points, has the Defender's team ability, as well as the Defenders, Marvel Knights, Spider-Man family, and Martial Artist keywords. She also has improved movement, ignores hindering and elevated terrain. Got traded stealth from Cat from that first trait, and then the second trait, always bet on black. Once per attack, when she attacks or is attacked, roll a d6 and you replace a die in that attack roll with the result. That can be very useful. Just got to remember, and you don't have to use the rerolled die. So let's say you well, obviously you'll be trying to replace the 1, but yeah. So if you still miss, keep it. Anyway, look at your dial. You get some leap climb followed by some sidestep. On attack, it's a precision strike followed by smoke cloud. On defense, we got some combat reflexes followed by super senses followed by willpower at the end. On damage, we've got some perplex followed by some combat reflexes, or exploit weakness. I mean, derp. It's already been it's been a long day for me. Next up, we've got Carnage. Now, the first thing to say about Carnage is I really don't like this sculpt for Carnage. He's too beefy. Carnage should not be beefy. That said, he comes in at 75 points for 50 points. Has the Codex Frightful 4, Maximum Carnage, and Monster keywords, as well as improved movement, ignores elevated terrain. We also got the Symbiote trait, as well as the trait Maximum Carnage. Once per turn, when Carnage hits, after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage up to 2 opposing characters that weren't hit but are adjacent to a hit character. And all of the members of Carnage's family for Maximum Carnage, as well as a few other Carnage-related characters, have that trait. But it's basically the same as the Maximum Carnage alternate team ability. Looking at his dial, we've got some blades, some flurry, some sidestep. On attack, we got some charge, flurry, and sidestep. On attack, we got some blades, followed by some steel energy. We got Indomitable on defense, so built-in willpower. We got some super senses and some toughness, some late die regeneration. On damage, we got some exploit weakness, followed by a lot of battle fury. Okay, alright. Next, we've got the Master of Illusions, Mysterio. Mysterio comes in at either 50 points or 25 points. He has the Magia, Sinister Syndicate, and Scientist keywords, as well as improved movement, ignores hindering terrain. And he's also got a trait, which we'll get into that momentarily here. Robot Minions. At the beginning of the game, generate a robot minion bystander. Power. Generate a robot minion bystander, max 2. Mysterio can carry 2 passengers, but only robot minion bystanders. And in case you're curious, that's what they do. They've got some smoke cloud, they're autonomous, we got some quake, some toughness, and some shape change. Well, also a trait, Veil of Lies. If robot minion occupies one of Mysterio's smoke markers, modify attack and damage by +1. Okay, alright. Looking at the dial, you open up with a special speed power, setting the stage, giving him mind control, sidestep, and stealth. That then gives way to phasing teleport. On attack, we've got some smoke cloud. Defense, we got mastermind, followed by super senses. Damage, we got probability control, followed by shape change, followed by outwit. Not bad for 50 points. Not bad at all. Finally, we've got Ghost Spider, better known as Spider-Gwen. Ghost Spider here comes in at 75 points or 50 points. Has the Spider-Man Ally Team ability, as well as the Codex Spider-Man Family Celebrity and Monster keywords. She also has improved movement, ignores elevated terrain, and she has the Symbiote trait. Looking at her dial, we open some charge, which gives her a sidestep. On attack, we open up Super Strength, which gives way to some Incapacitate. She's got Indomitable and starts off with Super Resistance on defense, followed by Combat Reflexes, followed by a click of Regeneration. And then on damage, we open up with some Outwit and which gives way to some Combat Reflexes. And we finish with Outwit. Not too shabby, and it's honestly kind of nice to actually have a Ghost Spider or Spider Gwen. Anywho, that's it for now. We'll be back tomorrow with the week, Thursday with the weekly comic book roundup, and then later on this week we'll be doing another Building the Team video, but this will be for the upcoming Clicks game. Anyway, as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.